This video will briefly show how to create a navigation log and show how to use Pilotage when flying VFR. The first step is to create a navigation log. The navigation log should include the departure and arrival airports and waypoints along the route of flight. The navigation log should also include the magnetic heading and course and altitude for each leg of the flight. The pilot also needs to know the wind direction and speed, true airspeed, ground speed, and distance and leg time along with the time en route. As illustrated, we are creating a navigation log for a flight plan from Renton Municipal Airport in Renton, Washington to Pangbourne Memorial in Wenatchee, Washington. Pilots should learn to create their own navigation logs as a backup in case of avionics, iPad, or electronic navigation system failures. We just departed Renton Municipal Airport and are climbing to our cruise altitude of 9,500 feet. Today we are flying a Cessna 152 on a VFR flight plan. The first thing to notice is the highway to our left. That is Interstate 90 and roughly follows our flight path today. Navigating in reference to landmarks on the ground is called pilotage and is an important skill for student and private pilots to learn when flying VFR. Next, let's adjust our CDI needle to a heading of 257 to track the inbound 257 radial of the Wenatchee VOR, which is directly along our route of flight on the Victor 120 airway as shown. Notice how the CDI needle is centered when turned to a heading of 257. This means we are on course and tracking the 257 radial of the Wenatchee VOR. The to from indicator shows an upside-down triangle and a from indication. You can see the 257 radial of the Wenatchee VOR is directly on our flight path after the model waypoint as shown. We can still see Interstate 90 to our left, which means we are roughly tracking our flight path. Being able to navigate from the air with reference to landmarks on the ground, also known as pilotage, is an important skill for pilots when flying VFR. Let's now turn the CDI needle to a heading of 077, which is the 180-degree reciprocal of 257 to see what it looks like to track our course on the 077 outbound radial of the Wenatchee VOR. Notice how the needle is still centered and the to from indicator now shows a to indication. Also notice how the triangle on the CDI is now right side up. Here is a view of the 257 and 077 radials of the Wenatchee VOR on the sectional chart. Looking to our right, we notice Catchess Lake, which is just past our waypoint of Mata as shown on the sectional. We have been flying at our cruising altitude of 9,500 feet and are now ready to begin our descent into Pangbourne Memorial Airport in Wenatchee, Washington. Remember, the reason we chose 9,500 feet as our cruising altitude for this flight was to ensure enough obstacle clearance over the mountainous terrain of central Washington and to comply with VFR cruising altitude regulations. According to CFR Part 91.159, VFR flights are required to fly at an altitude of any odd 1,000-foot MSL altitude plus 500 feet when on a magnetic course of 0 degrees through 179 degrees. We have turned our CDI needle to a heading of 289 since that is the approach course for the VOR approach into runway 30 and the winds are favoring landing on runway 30. Once the CDI needle centers on a heading of 289, we will begin our turn to a heading of 289. We would need to broadcast our intentions on the Common Traffic Advisory frequency since Pangbourne Memorial is a non-towered airport and check the NOTAMs. It is recommended for pilots to fly the standard traffic pattern that is associated with the airport, but pilots can fly straight in approaches but should be sure to see and avoid and constantly be on the lookout for other air traffic in the area. After completing our pre-landing checklist and following the proper approach procedures, we can now see runway 30 in the distance and are ready to land at Pangbourne Memorial Airport. Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe for more educational videos on aviation and flight training topics.